Chapter 6 Air. Air is a precious resource that most of us take granted. Air supplies us with oxygen, which is essential for our bodies to live. Without it, we would die within minutes. Air is always around us. We cannot see it because air is colorless, but we can feel it as it blows and cools our bodies. What is air? Air makes up the Earth's atmosphere. The air we breathe contains 78% nitrogen gas, 21% oxygen, 0.9% argon, and 0.03% carbon dioxide, along with water vapor, floating molecules of water. Air also contains tiny bits of dust, pollen grains from plants, and other solid particles. As our atmosphere extends higher and higher above Earth towards outer space, air becomes thinner and the combination of gases in the air changes. Properties of air. Air occupies space. Air is all around us. We cannot see it, but we can feel it. Have you seen the wind blowing the leaves on a tree? This is moving air. We can feel it on our skin. Have you seen a sailboat moving across the water? The air is pushing it. We also put air inside our lungs when we breathe in. We push air out when we breathe out. But if air is invisible, does it take space? Is it really made of anything? Let's do these experiments to see if air takes up space. Fill a fish tank or other large container about 2/3 of water. Invert the drinking glass and push it into the water, trapping air inside the glass. We can easily observe the trapped air inside the inverted glass. The true value of this experiment is to slightly tip the glass to allow a bubble of air to escape and float to the surface. The water bubbles prove there is air that has volume within the glass. The air as it shows move out of the glass is replaced by the water, proving air takes up space. Compressed air. Air can also be squeezed into very small space such as balloon. If we blow a balloon, it fills within air. The more air we force into it, as more we blow. The air inside the balloon is squeezed into a very small space. This is called compressed air. Compressed air is a popular form of power because it is clean, easy to use, and easy to transport. To see how a hand pump works, look no further than a simple bicycle pump, which takes air and pumps it into a bike tire when a person repeatedly pushes a hand or foot pedal. When the pedal is compressed, air enters the pump through an intake and is pushed into the bike tire via a plunger within the pump casing. Once the air has entered the tire, it officially has become compressed air, and the more air that enters the tire results in higher air pressure within the volume of the tire. Air has weight. Air has weight due to gravity. Gravity affects everything that has mass. Air has mass, so gravity pulls it towards the ground. But weight in air is very small, that's why it cannot be felt by ordinary senses. Let's know how air has weight. Materials. 2 balloons of equal size, 3 pieces of string at least 6 inches long, a wooden ruler, a small needle. Procedure. Inflate the 2 balloons until they are equal in size and tie them off. Attach a piece of string to each balloon. Then attach the other end of each of the strings to the opposite end of ruler. Keep the balloons at the same distance from the end of the ruler. The balloons will now be able to dangle below the ruler. Tie the third string to the middle of the ruler and hang it from the edge of a table or support rod. Adjust the middle string until you find the balance point, where the ruler is parallel to the floor. Once the apparatus is completed, the experiment can begin. Puncture one of the balloons with the needle or other sharp object and observe the result. The balloon that remains full of air will cause the ruler to tip, showing that air has weight. The empty balloon air escapes into the surrounding room and is no longer contained within the balloon. The compressed air in the balloon has a greater weight than the surrounding air. While the weight itself cannot be measured in this way, the experiment gives indirect evidences that air has mass. Air pressure. Air pressure varies over time and from place to place. If we travel up to a mountain or go up in a hot air balloon, for example, the air pressure gets less as higher we go. Air pressure also varies over time, and these tempered differences are usually caused by the temperature of the air. Cool air is heavier than warm air. Warm air is lighter than cool air and will therefore rise above it. Areas of high pressure can be caused when cool air is sinking and pressing on the ground. At this time, the weather is usually dry and clear. In contrast, when warm air rises, it causes a region of low pressure. With low pressure, the weather is often wet and cloudy. Changes in air pressure bring changes in the weather and make winds blow. Air usually moves from areas of high pressure to areas of low pressure, and this produces winds. This can be easily remembered with the phrase, winds blow from high to low. Air carries sound and smell. When we listen to our favorite songs or music, the sound of music reaches our ears through the air. Air brings sound waves to our ears. They enter our ears and strike our eardrums, allowing us to listen to music. We can smell the tasty dishes when foods are made in the kitchen, or the fragrance of jasmine, or even the foul smell that comes from the dustbin. This smell reaches our nose through the air we breathe in. The vibration of some device such as a wire, drum or reed creates musical sound. Sometimes moving air can be made to vibrate at certain frequencies. If you tie a string or wire tightly between 2 points, you can start vibrating it by plucking it or tapping it. The vibration creates compression waves in the air, resulting in a sound, according to the frequency of the waves. Musical instruments that use vibrating wire to produce sound include the guitar, violin, piano, etc.